In early 2026, tensions between the United States and Iran began spilling out into one of the most strategically vital waterways on Earth, the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. In a series of incidents involving oil tankers, some U.S.N. flagged, others foreign the region edged closer to a potential confrontation with global consequences. Roughly 20% of the world's oil exports pass through this narrow choke point. Control over shipping here is not just a regional issue, it is a global economic and security concern. When tankers are threatened or seized, markets, navies, and governments take notice. On February 3, 2026, a U.S.N. flag tanker part of a U.S.N. military fuel program was approached and hailed by Iranian small-armed vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian craft attempted to compel the ship to divert or stop a move the United States described as harassment. In response, the tanker continued on its course under the escort of a U.S.N. Navy destroyer. This was not an isolated flare-up, it occurred amid a U.S.N. military build-up in the region, including additional warships and aircraft dispatched to deter escalation. Then, on February 5, 2026, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced it had seized 2 oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, alleging the vessels were smuggling fuel. State media reported the ships were taken to the port of Bushehr and their crew members were detained. Officials claimed this was an enforcement action, a crackdown on smuggling. However, the timing was significant. The seizures came just one day before high-level nuclear talks between the U.S.N. and Iran in Muscat, Oman. In response to these growing maritime risks, the U.S.N. Department of Transportation issued guidance advising U.S.N. flagged commercial vessels and other ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz to stay as far from Iranian territorial waters as safely possible, verbally declined boarding requests by Iranian forces, avoid resisting if an Iranian force attempts to board, to preserve safety. This caution followed repeated incidents of Iranian vessels attempting to board or force commercial ships toward Iranian waters. The maritime harassment and seizures also occurred amid other tension points. On February 3rd, a U.S.N. F-35C fighter jet shot down an Iranian Shah F-139 drone that had approached the U.S.N. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and its strike group in the Arabian Sea. These overlapping incidents, drones, naval harassment, and tanker threats underscore how quickly maritime security can escalate. These events matter for several overlapping reasons. Disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz can raise oil prices. Markets already responded. Increased shipping costs spur risk premiums on energy contracts. Oil traders see such tensions as direct threats to supply stability. Iran's seizures and harassment show it believes it can assert control, locally push back against U.S.N. naval dominance, influence diplomatic leverage ahead of negotiations. Meanwhile, the U.S.N. maintains a visible naval presence to deter further escalation. Analysts warn that the risk of further incidents is real. Some in Washington are even considering seizing tankers carrying Iranian oil as leverage in broader pressure campaigns, though officials fear Tehran is near certain retaliation and disruption in global oil markets if that strategy is pursued. At the same time, diplomatic channels remain open with nuclear talks and negotiations ongoing, even as both sides publicly prepare for broader regional competition. Whether these maritime incidents will escalate into direct confrontation or serve as bargaining chips in a larger geopolitical chess game remains to be seen. What's unfolding in the Persian Gulf in 2026 is not an isolated naval incident. It reflects deep structural tension in U.S.N. Iran relations, competing maritime strategies, energy geopolitics, power projection diplomacy under pressure in narrow straits and wide oceans alike. The balance between cooperation and conflict is being tested. For more updates on global flashpoints, naval strategy, and modern conflict, subscribe to Shackleton. Because the waters of the Gulf tell us as much about world order as any battlefield.